Trucking cases can be a different breed of case. Let me explain a case involving Tracy Morgan and Walmart. I'm Jim Gordon at Bears and Gordon. So what is the difference of a trucking case versus just a regular car crash case? One of the biggest things is the requirements that trucking companies have when they've been driving on the road. Truckers are only allowed to drive for a certain amount of time each day. In the Walmart case that Tracy Morgan had about 10 years ago, they were able to establish that the Walmart driver was driving for 24 hours straight when they weren't supposed to be. So Walmart, of course, had safety protocols in place, as any company would that's using long haul trucking, but they were able to show that they were not going through their established safety protocols. But also, not only are there safety protocols internally by these trucking companies, but there's protocols from the Department of Transportation that they're required to follow, the federal DOT. And that is an important aspect of any trucking case, because what you can do anymore is get a copy of the logs on when they actually had their downtime and didn't have their downtime. And anymore, most of these trucking companies have GPS and have them logging in and out of where they're moving at any time. So you need an expert attorney that does trucking cases, that knows the right kind of questions to ask to the defendant trucking company about that certain information. Because if they don't ask the questions the right way, these trucking companies are not going to give that information up. The other thing that happens in trucking cases, unlike a lot of car crash cases, is the trucking company will actually send usually their safety director or someone out to the scene who will immediately start taking pictures, start taking statements, and doing all kinds of an investigation about what happened in the crash. Well, most individuals don't do that themselves. So what happens in a trucking case is that that individual is collecting information, and that day they may even take your statement as the other driver. Again, you don't have to give a statement to the other side at any time, including a statement to the internal person at the trucking company. But what they're doing, and the safety director is doing, is they're starting from step one, 30 seconds after an accident. When they get that call, they're starting the defense of that case. They're going to start collecting information. They're going to start gathering information from witnesses, and they're going to start, how am I going to defend this case? So an attorney has to ask the right questions and gather the right information to build that case properly against a trucking company, like what happened in the Tracy Morgan case against Walmart.